Hi guys, so I am over here in Osaka in a neighborhood called Nagai. There's a big park over here on the right side. You can see those trees over there. I'm gonna go check that out, but I am over here looking for a bicycle to purchase. Just, something cheap. I'm kind of looking around just to see if I can find like a fixie bike for maybe $50 or something like this. But I'm actually having trouble finding a bicycle for a reasonable price here that's not a piece of junk here. But I'm going to show you guys in a few minutes. You can see over there across the street, you've got like all those bicycles parked over there. Basically, there's thousands and thousands of bicycles here. You can see there's more of them right there. But they just leave them on the street here. And then most of them have locks on them. Let's take a look here. This one does not. No, it doesn't have a lock on it. So some of them, they just leave their bicycles here. Just assuming that nobody would steal it. Because there's not that much crime here in Japan, which is kind of interesting. In New York City, where I'm from, if you leave it outside, it's probably going to get stolen, right? Eventually, right? Might not be the first day, but and then if it's expensive, bicycles in New York City, it's kind of a nuisance there. But you can see this one. It has a little lock on the back wheel here, but it is just sitting. This one is just sitting out in the street here, so they just leave them like that. So I'm thinking of getting that just so I can tour the city a bit faster with the bike. And I'm thinking here that I'm going to stick around Osaka for a month or two at least. So that's why I'm looking to get the bike. If I was leaving next week, I probably wouldn't get it. So this is Nagai Park. From the map, it looks like a fairly large park. Now, it does look like it has some kind of a stadium over here. Maybe this was from the Olympics. I'm not sure where that was or what they have over here. We'll check it out. So my room is over near a place called Tennoji Park, which is about 3 miles north. So probably what I'm going to do is just take a walk through this park, make a left, and then head back north to the other. And we'll check out this park. It looks fairly large and interesting looking here. So you can see all these people riding the bikes here. I'm not sure if I want to buy one or not. We'll see if I think I'll just keep looking. I'm going to keep looking to see if I can find a one that is reasonably priced that I can just use for, say, like a month or two. So far, I haven't been able to find that. I don't like the Japanese style bike, it's called the Momachari type of bike with it, where you have the handlebars like this guy has, and it kind of looks like a kid's bike almost. I prefer the Western style ones, and those are more expensive, so I can't locate one of those. So we'll see. Maybe I'll just rent one for the day. So from my understanding, Tokyo is, of course, bigger, more crowded. It's kind of like the New York City of Japan, right? Whereas Osaka, it's a few million people, but then you've got Kyoto and Kobe, which are right near Osaka. So the metro area is bigger, you know. I think it's more spread out, so it kind of doesn't look like a huge city here. But the metro area does have like 20 million people here. And you can see a lot of the signs here. This is all over Japan. There's no English there. So what I usually do is I usually just point my translate at the sign and then look to see what the translation is. It's fairly straightforward there. Now, some signs do have English, you know, some in the subway, you know, if you're looking at a subway train, it does have English there, and what it does is it flashes back and forth from Japanese to English. Check out the endless sea of bicycles here. Now this might be paid. Some of the bicycle parking lots are paid. I'm not sure if this is paid or not. Or if this is, you know, this is some place where people park to go on transit here. But they have a lot of bikes here, for sure. Over in Denmark, they also have a lot. It was pretty crazy over there with all the cyclists. So just to give you guys kind of my impression of this town. I like it because the streets are clean. There's a few things as compared to Southeast Asia. So I just flew here from Cambodia, and the weather's cooling off. That was by design. I wanted to come north because I didn't like constantly sweating it out in Southeast Asia. Thailand, you know, Bangkok, similar thing going on there. Ho Chi Minh, those are all really hot places, and the same thing. Malaysia, strangely, is a little bit cooler than Thailand and Cambodia. So I was over in Thailand back in March, which is basically summer season, you know, hot all of the time. So the differences there are that weather's more pleasant. There's no stray dogs, none whatsoever in Osaka. Now there might be, I don't know if you go to a small town, there might be some. I'm going to go to some other towns eventually, probably next month here. And I may go some other local towns around here just to see what that is like. But no stray dogs, no trash. What you'll notice in Osaka is that there's not any public trash cans outside. Or there's very few. And the reason for that is they're keeping the animals, rats and the cats and stuff like that, so that they don't go and eat the trash there. So that was something that is very noticeable, where in some places, like say in Southeast Asia, you may see that there's trash on the street. You know, you got, well, there's a pile of trash right there now. That's not really very typical there. And they also have like people who are just walking around. These are like city employees who are going into picking up the little pieces of, you know, things that you see on the sidewalk, little cigarette butts and things like that you might find in the U.S. They're picking that up and getting rid of it. So those are three big things that I like about Japan. It's kind of has parallels to when I was in Europe, you know, same kind of thing, like how the weather's a little better, you know. streets are more organized. And you've also got like sidewalks, like in many places in Cambodia. You're walking on the street there as a pedestrian there. So Malaysia was better, as I said. Malaysia is way far south. It's near the equator there. But Malaysia is a little bit cooler than Cambodia and Thailand, right? So that was a benefit there. It wasn't quite as crazy, but it does have the sun, right? So over here in Japan, this is way far north. So it's like 6 hours, 5 hours flight, north. So we're talking about the same latitude as the United States, But at the same time, the weather's not that cold, right? So it's not as of yet, but it will get winter here. So for me, I brought my winter clothing. So I do have that. I have a small jacket, got a hat, got some long pants. And I've had that packed in my bag, when I was in Thailand. I'm just traveling with it. So I'll be using that clothing here in Japan. So the good news, those are kind of the good points there. But the bad news there is Japan is much more expensive. So it's about, and I'll tell you how I am dealing with the money here. When I was on the internet before I came here, I was looking to see how I could save money, and I'll be getting into that. Maybe I'll do a whole video on that. But one of the things there is they have these mat rooms here in Osaka, and these are basically like the cheapest hotel rooms in Japan, right? Osaka. And it's in the Nishinari district. And what you want to do with those rooms is you want to book them way ahead of schedule. So it's hard to get those rooms because they're very cheap, right? So if you don't get those, right, or you don't get a hostel, like you miss a hostel there, I don't have to stay at a hostel. There's a few hostels in town as well, and they're about the same price as the mat rooms. So mat rooms, got that booked up. Airbnb is a bit more pricey than those mat rooms. So I was just looking, before I came here, very busy, But if you do get stuck with a hotel, hotels are a lot more expensive. And the prices go up, once you get past the budget hotels, then you're talking like some hotels, $75 a night US or something like that. So very expensive there if you get stuck with that. For me, worst case scenario is I'll just fly out of Japan, if I can't find a cheap room. So that's a negative. The food is more expensive. Maybe about twice what you would find in Cambodia and Thailand. But I'll get into some cheaper, places that I go shopping at. So, as I mentioned, crime is very low. So that's another. Weather is good. Stray dogs don't have that. No trash, very limited trash. And so crime is a big one as well. So I don't have to worry about if I'm on the street, surfing my cell phone, nobody's going to come up and swipe it from me. Now, never say never, but basically the crime here is low, right? So people leave their bicycles out. That's pretty crazy there that they would expect. When I was in New York, what I would do is I would put my bicycle in my room, right? So I wouldn't just leave it outside. I had a pretty nice one. So the other thing, the fifth thing that I like about this country here is they have this, you see these vending machines here? You can buy a lot of different things in those. They also have like an automated checkout when you go to the grocery store. So the checkout is a little bit faster. You know, you just put your money in the slot. And sometimes the cashier does that. And sometimes you can do it like a self-checkout there. So that's a little bit better than we have in the States there. A little bit smoother. There's another vending machine there. But 7-Eleven, I'll tell you this about 7-Eleven there. If you're a budget traveler, if you go over in Thailand, 7-Eleven is cheaper there. So in Malaysia and over here in Japan, they do have 7-Eleven. But, you know, I was shopping there at 7-Eleven, and it's a little bit more expensive, and the teeny tiny, the servings here are smaller. So you might need 2 or 3 meals. You know, if you're American coming here expecting a little bit more food, you know, you're paying a lot more for a meal, right? So there's a grocery store called Super Tomate. That's what that's called here in Osaka. And it's really cheap. It's like half the price of 7-Eleven. So I was like going over there, I was like going, wow. 7-Eleven, you paid the first couple of days, you know. Paid a lot more. And going to Super Tomate, walk in there and they have, you know, little plastic things full of food and rice and things like that for like half price. I was like going, wow. So, and one of those is, you might find a little thing of rice for like, say, 60 yen, which is about 30, 40 cents, you know. And then you have a little, you know, thing of crab meat for like 100 yen. So you can save a lot of money there. You know, Coca-Cola. You got, I think, 1.5 liters for like 170 yen, which is a bit over $1, you know. So similar to, those prices are low, you know, similar to Thailand. But the street food here, there's not as many places that sell, like, say, over in Cambodia and Thailand, where you can see the ladies, you know, out cooking in the stalls and things like that. They have a few of those places, but it's nothing like that. Or they're just cooking up, you know, this is their entire living there. I kind of like that personally because I don't cook that frequently. So I'm going to take a look at this place here. This bike shop is not on the map here, so maybe they'll have a good deal here.